Hey,
Morning, everybody.
morning, everyone. Well, good evening from this side of the world. Morning over there. Most of you are probably watching there in the morning time, I suppose. So, how's everybody doing? Yeah, Mike Schnell with a good point there. Mark V finally arrived on the pband.usa site.
Yes,
Go,
yes,
guys.
it
Is it
is.
sold out already?
It wasn't as of 7 this morning, Eastern time, when I looked. So I'm sure
Get
it's
on
going to
there.
go fast, though. So people need to, if they want it, go get it now.
Yeah. No doubt. How's everybody doing this morning? Middle of January. Well, it's not very cold there. It's cold here, but
Yeah.
depending on where you are. I saw in like some of the videos that you sent me, like some guys there were wearing sweatshirts and you were wearing a sweatshirt. Are you wearing a sweatshirt right now too?
No, I got short sleeves on.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, if I'm wearing a sweatshirt, that means it got into probably the low 20s, low 30s, high 20s.
Oh, really?
I think we did a lot of those filming like early in the morning, so it's like freezing in here.
Oh, really?
But that's probably as cold as it's gonna ever get here in Florida. I usually never wear long sleeves ever. I might have a jacket on here or there, and then I never wear pants. I always have shorts on. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Like when I saw the videos, like, oh, why are they wearing sweatshirts in Florida? It's hard to imagine.
Yeah.
Anyway, wherever you guys are watching from, hopefully the weather's pretty good, not too cold, not freezing. But I know some people like that. I don't understand it, but some people like cold weather. Weirdos. Anyway, we got some cool stuff to talk about today and a bunch of you guys' questions, of course. But the other exciting thing is we've got another kit to give away this week. Adam, you got that on hand there? There it is.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Bandai.
P Bandai, the heavy weapon system with the real grade news. So pretty excited to give that away.
Very cool.
To a lucky questionnaire.
Awesome kit. Love that kind of warm white secondary like white color on it.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks great. So if you guys missed it, I reviewed that kit recently here on my over on my channel. We're not on my channel, over on my channel. If you guys missed that, you can check out the review. You know, if you end up not winning today and you're feeling sad, you can at least enjoy having a look at the kit there. So we're going to pick the winner later on towards the end of the video here today. So just hang out for a while. As usual, just to let you guys know how the episode's going to go. We'll talk about some new stuff there in stock at the store. Then we'll go through some of the questions, not questions from you guys live at first, but we'll get to those a little bit later. We'll take the questions from the YouTube community tab, the Facebook page, and the Instagram account. We'll take some of those questions first, and then we'll take some questions from you guys live towards the end and do the giveaway and all that. So just hang out for a little while. Thank you guys for watching and hanging out. Let's get into it. Adam?
Yeah, man. So we don't have a whole lot of brand new things in. We're still getting a lot of pre-orders in little by little from Bandai. We did get in the Char Hello Kitty. This all came in yesterday, except for the load rebake that came in a little while ago. But we just got these in. We're still waiting on the green one, which should be here hopefully in about a week or so. So if you pre-ordered both, those will all ship out together when we get in the green one. We got this guy in just after our last call.
Okay.
Yeah, the double rebreak load ashtray, really cool kit. So I know a lot of people had this ordered up for pre-order. So we just got those in, and then this came in yesterday, the Mobius.
Yes.
So I haven't even opened this up to even look at the runners and the plastic coloration or anything like that. So just got these in, so we'll be getting all them pre-orders out for these as well.
That was a cool kit. I had fun with that one.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
I know
it has a nice colorway on there. It also has like the two-tone white of like white and a little bit kind of warmer white. So yeah, you'll see that when you open it up.
Nice. It's exciting. Yeah, it's always fun getting new stuff in.
Of course. Yes. So yeah, those Hello Kitty kits as well too. Those should be exciting.
Yeah. I know that the RX-71 one or RX-78-2 one. I don't know what's RX-70. Yeah. Those sold really well, and I know a lot of people like those kits. We will be getting those back in stock here pretty shortly too. Which is
nice.
Yeah, Bandai's doing another run of them. So
are they up for pre-order already, or
No, I'm
Oh,
still
yeah?
waiting to confirm how many we're able to get in. I know I ordered a bunch, but
Mm,
as of early last year, yeah, I can
mm,
order all I want. It doesn't mean I'm going to get all of the whole
mm.
quantity that we order right
Yeah.
now. So
Well, if any of you guys missed the Hello Kitty Gundam kit and wanted to get that, that's good news. Another chance to get your hands on that. Nice. Yeah, those kits, I mean, I don't remember offhand how much they are, but yeah, actually, they were a little bit expensive, weren't they? I think because of the Hello Kitty licensing, probably.
yeah, they
Mm.
weren't too bad, but they
Yeah.
were a little bit more than your typical high
Mhm.
grade kit.
Yeah, I think like just the regular like cross silhouette. Does that come with the cross silhouette frame
It
in
does
that kit or not?
not, no, and I
Mhm.
don't think it was the cross silhouette one. I think it
Hey,
did
Matt.
it. I think it came with the EX standard. I
Oh, is
think
it?
yeah, I think it's the same way that they did with
Uh,
the Ape collaboration.
okay.
I'm pretty sure you can tell that I haven't built one. But
You could be right. Yeah, I don't remember offhand. It
yeah,
wasn't something that was particularly interesting to me either, so I didn't build one.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it came with the EX standard
Okay.
thing.
Then yeah, it is quite a big difference between the
Yeah.
regular kit and the Hello Kitty version. But
Yeah,
again, for something like quite unique like that, and especially if you're a fan, Hello Kitty is still not that bad.
yeah,
Yeah, certainly unique.
it is. And there's tons of
But
Hello Kitty fans out there. So
yes, all the Perfect Grade Unleashed have all come and gone, right? The first wave, and you're
yeah,
just now waiting
yeah.
on the second wave coming in February, March?
It should be here late February, early March. That could change. We might get it sooner,
Mm,
from what I'm being told, but I'll wait till that happens. But yeah, we should be getting the second wave pretty shortly. If you
okay.
are a part of the first wave and you
Mm,
haven't gotten the kit, please email us. You might have another pre-order that's holding it up, or
mm,
something like that. So, but all the first wave should be shipped
mm.
and out. And we actually got a few extra of the
Oh,
first wave so we were able to give some second wave people that ordered, first and the second wave, theirs too. So it's kind of cool.
yeah, nice. Very cool. All right. Let's get into some questions. I'm sure we'll probably have some more questions about
Yeah.
some of the new kits out and everything. So we'll cover that stuff again. But let's head over to the YouTube community tab here first. Let's see. Core Spartan said, "When are we getting a USA Gundam Store mascot model kit?"
It's in the works. It's in the works.
There you go. Yeah, we've had that question before, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
We got that. Yeah. Are you thinking? I mean, like you don't necessarily have to divulge any information since it is in the works, as you said. But are you thinking like it's going to be something like a plastic kit or something like a 3D resin printed or something like that?
Yeah, it'll probably 3D resin printed,
Mhm.
just because of the cost savings of it.
Sure. Yeah.
It costs a lot to have a mold manufactured and stuff, but
Mhm.
we have looked at that. So,
Mhm.
but kind of in talks with a few different people. We were in talks with people earlier last year, and then the world fell apart. So then we kind
Yeah.
of halted that for a bit. So we're
Yeah, the magic worked. So I
yeah.
talked about 3D resin, and here's Chris Pabs. What's going on, Chris?
Hey, Chris. Yeah.
It really is magic, isn't it, Chris? All right. Lord Grimm said, "What series would you like to see animated between Sentinel, Moon, and Crossbone?"
I like both Sentinel and Moon a lot. I like Moon a lot. I like the mech designs in it. I'm not a huge fan of Crossbones. I know that's going to be angry to some, but it is for me. So that's how it is.
Yeah.
But Sentinel's good too. I mean, there's a lot of cool. I think I have all three Moon for me. We'll go with that.
Mm. Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, I think, for me too, it would have to be between Sentinel or Moon. I would probably have to go Sentinel, and I think Sentinel would make a really good series if they did it as like a OVA, and like it wasn't like just super action packed the whole time. Because I think just like the story, if they did it kind of a little bit more Thunderbolt, where they had like a good mix of like some really amazing action stuff and then like some really just cool like character development side as well too, and just kind of very gritty, just kind of focused on it's because this is a very like focused on like a one kind of small storyline. amongst like a lot of other things happening around that time in the war, right? So I don't know, and yeah, I think Sentinel would be very cool like that, done in that kind of similar way. Moon, I'm not actually that familiar with this kind of story of it, really, to be honest. So
yeah, I think they're not. I've read the first one. I think I read the second one, but I think it's still ongoing, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, as far as I know, too, but I don't keep up with that so much. But that sounds right, probably.
No.
JD the Kid said, everybody remembers their first build, but do you guys remember the second kit y'all built? Right,
let me think. So the 100 Astray, no grade, was my red frame was my first one. Mm-hmm. I think my second one, actually, I know my second one, I went into a hobby town in Ormond Beach, Florida. That's not here anymore. Mm-hmm. I went in there and I just finished that Astray, and I was looking around for Gundam kits, and the only one they had was the no grade, not Justice. Why can't I think of the name? The one he flew in Seed Destiny at the start. Savior.
Okay.
Yeah. So they had the 100 no grade of the Savior, and that is the second one I built. And I only remember is because it's the only kit they had. And I remember thinking that, man, once I'm done with this, where am I going to get kits? Because they didn't have anything else. But yeah,
make that one last.
Yeah, a little bit. And I know it was my first time actually doing water slides on that kit. I remember that as well.
They had like some Bandai water slide sets there at the store or something that you could get?
I got them off of I think eBay. eBay had like these weird generic just like lines, and I didn't know how to scribe panel lines, so I'm looking at online. I'm seeing all these cool things. I'm like, oh, I could just do that instead. It's not the same, obviously, but
yeah. I think I've seen those around before, but it's really kind of interesting why you don't see more of that. I would imagine, that would be something, I'm sure some people would go for. Rather than having to scribe lines, just getting some like just kind of generic panel line looking waterside decals that you can put on there. It seems like there would be a market for that,
Yeah, you would think, but we don't see them very often.
Yeah. My second build, as far as I can remember, probably the 1/100 scale God Gundam, I think. Not the Master Grade, just the 1/100 scale, I think probably HG, I think it is. Yeah, not, I mean, it was kind of flimsy as far as I can remember, but pretty cool. As a young lad, I enjoyed it. Right. Greg wants to know, when will the BMC Dynamo chisels be back in stock?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. I've sent them a few emails and not gotten replies back. I know other retailers have tried here in the States. I don't know what it's like over there for you, but it's just radio silence. So I don't know if the demand over there is just so, Japan, that they just gave up on shipping stuff over here. I don't know.
Yeah, I've not heard anything about it, like here in Korea, but I wouldn't hear anything about it if there was any talk about that, probably. But yeah, I can imagine maybe it's just availability, I suppose. Mr. Schnitzer said, how would you feel if Bandai did Gundam Arms Girl? So I think he means like kind of like the Gundam girls, like as kits, though, kind of like that.
I guess they've kind of done that with the Build Fighters stuff. Is that kind
That's true? And they did a couple of super old ones, like from late 80s, I want to say, probably when those came out. So I mean, not the best example, but like, yeah, something comparable like Frame Arms Girl, but for Gunpla.
Yeah, Gundam. I think they would sell. I mean, the Frame Arms Girls and those sell, and Mecha Musume stuff all sells. So I'm sure they would sell, and if not, probably better than Frame Arms and stuff because it's Bandai.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on if they put the right resources and team behind doing the sculpting. I was actually, just before we started, I was talking with someone about that, and like the Figurized Labo kits, the sculpting is great on them. They look amazing, but then like the Figurized Standard kits, not quite so much. And like the HG kits, it's kind of the same, the Fumina kits and stuff like that. Just the sculpting in them is just not good. I mean, like they're relatively solid. Like you don't have like little parts falling off and things like that, like you do with like some of the Kodo kits, because they're a little bit more finicky just by design. But
Right.
so it's Bandai quality, but just the sculpt is not very good. So yeah, if they got like good sculptures on it, and they really kind of put a little bit more effort into them, made them a little bit not quite so basic, yeah, I'm sure they would sell like crazy, no doubt. So who knows? But I think it's just probably more the case that Bandai's already got plenty of stuff that sells well. They kind of don't really need to expand out to something like that at the moment.
Yeah. Maybe. I know they're starting. Well, I guess they're more and more. They did what the Fumina Figure-Eyes, and they're doing that 86 anime. Was it Lena?
Oh yeah. So, that's also just part of like the Figure-Eyes standard line, though.
Yeah,
so.
It's not really like a Mecha Musume.
Yeah. They've done a number of different like female characters in the Figure-Eyes standard line in the past. So I mean, yeah, it seems like they're just kind of like doing it here and there, but not really too focused on it, because Kotobukiya's pretty much got that market kind of cornered, so it's not really too much there for Bandai to pick up on. Maybe David wants to know, do you think it's likely that we'll ever get an RG Barbatos?
Yes, I would say it's likely.
Oh. Yeah, I would say it's certainly possible. How likely it is, I'm not sure. I'm maybe not quite as confident as Adam is, but who knows? I didn't expect to see a master grade as so soon. So
yeah, I'm going with the popularity of it. The master grade sold like crazy, so why not do a better version of a 1/44 scale? But that's probably just the money. I'm thinking
no doubt.
Bandai would want that kind of money. So
yeah, I mean. Yeah, certainly. I'm sure like they could make it really good and it would be super popular. I mean, yeah. I'm just surprised we haven't got another MG yet out from the line. MG Vidar or Floros or Rebake or something. It's kind of interesting. I'm sure it's only a matter of time, though.
Yeah, I'm sure something's coming down the pipeline.
Fizzed Cherry said, what kits do you see in the future of the RG line? Well, another RG related question. So maybe Barbatos? Anything else?
Probably more Universal Century kits. They've dabbled in other series, but I think I would. What have the last one's been? We got the Zeong that just got released. What was before the Zeong? The Impulse. I mean, we had all the Avas. I mean, we had all the Avas in between that, but the Impulse was the last Gundam, and then before the Impulse was
the new.
Was it the new?
New or Sazabi or Full Armor Unicorn.
Okay, yeah. So
those.
I can see more Universal Century kits then.
Yeah, they do kind of stick mostly to Universal Century, but I guess like, as far as Gundam universes go in general, it's mostly Universal Century.
Yeah. It'd be neat to see if they did like something like a God Gundam or something, but they did the high res of the God recently. So I could see that.
Yeah, totally. They make for a really good candidate for an RG kit, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, just trying to think of, yeah, they've already done quite a number of the seed, like the main seed designs. So I feel like that's probably a little bit juiced at the moment. It'd probably be a little while, I would imagine, before they do another seed kit. And Wing, I mean, they've done a number of different Wing kits already, and they got the RG Wing, the TV version Wing coming out as well too. So I mean, basically we're talking about like after that, after the Hainu, after the Wing. Probably wouldn't be another thing from Wing right away. Yeah. So yeah, probably something from Universal Century. But yeah, fingers crossed it could be a God Gundam. That'd be nice.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
Exia said, any plans on stocking more third-party kits like the Judge or some of the newer released third-party bootleg stuff? Also, when will we be getting the MG Gundam restock? Thanks for the hard work.
Yes. So the Judge, I think we missed the first time they made those. We finally got someone over there that can get us kind of all the cool obscure things. I know that the factory is talking about making another run of that. So if they do, we will definitely carry it. But as you can see on the website, you'll see a lot of different third-party hands, weapon systems, bases and stuff. We'll start carrying. We will not carry any like Gundam knockoffs, but weapon sets and stuff like that. We add-on parts we'll definitely be carrying. Just for example, like that heavy weapon new set, we'll carry that because you have to buy the Bandai kit to make that work. So as long as you got to buy Bandai kit, you're pretty good. They're not going to come after you versus you buying a D-band kit and then you don't need to buy anything from Bandai.
Right.
But yeah, no, we'll definitely be getting a lot more of that stuff. So if you see that stuff and it's something you want, please feel free to email us or message us, and we can let you know if we're going to end up getting it.
Sure. Yes, and the Attack Girl series kits too. Of course, all those stuff. So
that company. There's a few different companies over there that are making some pretty cool things, like the the Attack Girls, ATK Girl kits. There's a few things coming too that are pretty cool.
Definitely. I'm looking forward to the Judge kit. When it was first announced, I had seen it and I just thought, I wasn't that interested. It's like it's just super detailed and kind of wasn't to my taste aesthetically, but kind of the more I looked at it and I started to see more photos of it as it started getting closer to come out, I thought, all right, it looks pretty cool.
I think they did a pretty decent job.
It looks good. So I will be reviewing the kit, as a heads up to everyone if you're wondering. A couple people have already asked me, but I do have it in the mail. I do plan on reviewing that. So hopefully we're able to get some for the store then. If they make some more.
I'm pretty sure they will. I know from talking to who our supplier over there is. I know the factory was saying they're looking at making another run. As for, I guess, the other part of the master grade kits and restocks, Bandai, I know, went through December and January of just trying to get all their back orders shipped out, and then going February on, they'll be doing a bunch of replenishment orders and stuff like that. So we'll be back in stock of a lot of stuff, and I'm sure other places will be back in stock of a lot of stuff as well too. I know that was the second part of that question.
Yes. Yeah, good. Here's we'll continuing on with some more here from the YouTube community tab, but I do just want to take this one here, question live, because it's an interesting question. Here, random asking, do you think we'll ever get an MG core Gundam set? Interesting.
That'd be kind of cool, but I don't know. I don't think it'll be anytime soon. But what are your thoughts?
You never know. I agree, and I think we've talked about this before, that it would be cool if Bandai made like MG versions of like SD Gundams.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So, it would be kind of a similar kind of thing, them making like an MG core Gundam. But I'm sure probably what it would be was that they'd make like an MG Earth 3, and then they would also sell like the other different sets like as MG sets, but and probably other ones would be P Bandai, of course. So it'd be like a Mars 4 P Bandai set, something like that, for example. So I don't know. I think it would be cool, definitely, and I'm sure it'd be pretty popular. But I don't necessarily see that happening anytime soon. But you never know. So far, I think they've still not made any master grade kits from Build Divers, right? Or Build Fighters. Well, yes, I guess they had the Fenice Renashita kit, but that's what else? Oh, there were a couple of ones. Sorry, I guess that's wrong. It was the Red Warrior and the Build Strikes. There's a couple of them, but from Build Divers, still nothing yet. Okay, Jeremy has a question about shipping to France. I was seeing here.
Unfortunately, right now, the only international shipping we are doing is to Canada. There's a lot of different regulations and stuff with countries all over the world. I know the UK now, we are not shipping to probably for a very, very long time, just due to all the new tax stuff that they are imposing with the Brexit stuff. But France, it's the problem is there's all the, we have obviously tons of countries in the world, and there's a lot of people that would order. We'd have one order maybe a day from someone in a random country. And it's so hard to keep track or try to dive in. It takes so much time to figure out if we can actually get that order to that person versus us shipping it out and then it not being able to get there and then stuck in limbo. So until a lot of the COVID restrictions start going away from a lot of countries, I know we won't be shipping to a lot of them. If you feel like you can get the package, please email us, and I can look into it a little bit more then if you really think that you are fine, and then I can maybe open up that country.
Yeah, he just to read the rest of his thing here. He said he was trying to order something. He made an account. And he was trying to order something, but he saw that he could only select USA, Canada, or Mexico for the options for address. So he said, and I don't want to order anything without knowing the shipping prices. And by the way, what exactly is that flat rate shipping? So yeah, I would say, Jeremy, if you're really interested, like Adam said, send them an email.
Yeah,
maybe they can look into it further for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Purple Derple Doo said, what are good kits for someone who is getting into painting? At the moment, I've only done some hand painted weathering and details on the Easy 8. I want to know what are some kits that are easier to paint than others.
I don't know how you feel about it, but something if you're just starting out, you can start out on SD kits, or the entry grade RX-78 I think would be a good one too. They're not really expensive, so if you mess it up, you're not out a lot of money. It's not like you try to paint a master grade. Especially maybe for your first one, so you kind of get the feel of the airbrush. If you're hand painting, I think he said he did some, you'll get better feel on what you need to do for that. Although you probably want to really more do airbrushing for complicates. But yeah, that's just I guess my advice.
Also, the 30 minutes missions kits are great.
Yeah,
pretty cheap. And simple. They don't really have anything like seam lines or anything really, so you kind of don't need to worry about that. That said, any kit that does have seam lines, is good practice anyway. Yeah. Seam lines are just kind of a fact of life, so you're going to have to deal with them eventually.
Yeah.
So maybe just try to get your hands on an HG kit that maybe doesn't have a ton of seam lines, so it's not something you have to do a ton of work on, but just a couple here and there. You can get a little bit of seam line rule practice in there. Have a pretty simple HG kit to paint up. The origin kits are pretty good to paint because they basically fall into that category. They're a little bit more expensive than like what Adam's talking about. They'd be like around $20 or even $25 around there for some of the more expensive ones, I guess. But if you just got like a Zaku 1 or something, you'll have like a couple of seam lines on like the shoulder armor and the forearms. They're pretty easy to remove. And then otherwise, the kits are pretty easy to paint and have a lot of nice detail on there. So they look really good.
Yeah.
So those are good too. Yeah. The entry grade kit, of course, is kind of same kind of deal. It's got a couple of seam lines on there, but otherwise it's pretty simple to paint. The Leo would be a good one too. HD Leo, very cheap, very simple. Any of those, not necessarily the Death Army kit. There's a lot more seam lines on the Death Army kit. It's kind of a bit more of a pain, unfortunately. I was a bit disappointed by that actually, but it looks cool, but not as easy as some of these other options.
Right.
All right. Stolo said, question, when your 3D printed builder parts line is successful, is there a chance you could move to model specific conversion type? So I think he's talking about the 3D printed detail parts that we're going to be stocking. Will we do like conversion parts or like model detail parts for specific kits?
Yes is the answer to that. Kind of everything's on the table with that. The more successful those parts are, the more you guys like them, the more we'll make. And for sure we can do. That's definitely not off the table.
Yeah, nice. Kind of like they make like the sets of like metal detail parts that are like specific to certain kits, doing that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or even mixing it up, doing like sets of metal parts and 3D printed like detail parts and stuff.
Yeah.
All to go together for a kit would be pretty cool.
I know they make Anubis If you check those out, they make specific 3D printed like little things for specific kits too, and we carry those. But it's the same thing, same idea.
Yes, I think I've seen a couple of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Evans, not sure how to read that name, said, "Is it possible to add to an existing order that's waiting on a back ordered item to ship?" So he wants to add something to a order.
Yep. All you do is got to email us, and then we can add it to the order and send you over a payment. It does, I think, need to be within 60 days, if I'm wrong, for us to edit an order. I could be wrong, but just email us. I mean, we can always figure out a way to do it. That's not an issue.
There you go. Ian said, "Could you guys get the Wave 1/44 scale crew?"
We a 1/44 scale. I don't know. Do they make?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I've ever seen that. I know they've seen the 100 scale set.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. I'm pretty sure that's just the 1/100 set. Bandai made a 1/44. Nope, they do make a 1/44. I will see what I can do. It's interesting because like the 1/100, you got to put the arms on and stuff. The 1/44, they just all come together.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you don't got to build them or anything.
Like the Bandai ones.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, Ian, those exist, but I mean, like Adam said, the Bandai also makes some, unless you've seen like the Wave ones, and those are definitely what you want. If you can get your hands on the Bandai ones, I would go for those, because I've seen the Wave ones in person and they didn't look very good, to be honest. I mean, compared to the Bandai ones. The Bandai ones look a lot nicer. They're a lot more nicely detailed and stuff.
Yeah, and all those builder parts from Bandai are getting reproduced. Let me see what month they're getting reproduced. I need to. So June, July, Bandai's redoing all those builder parts again, or should be. I mean, that's a tentative date, so hopefully they do.
All right, let's see here. Maybe we'll take one or two more here off YouTube, and then we'll switch over to Facebook. Benjamin has a kind of longer question here, but seems to be interesting. So he says he is interested in the financial part of the business. So on the one hand, it doesn't seem like your profit margin is high in your main product lines, i.e. kits. On the other hand, you're also branching out on self-branded products, and which I assume costs money, albeit reaping higher margins, keeping a lot of employees, even hiring Dear Zaku as a dedicated media person. Have you ever, you have even toyed with the idea of expanding with a second warehouse? Am I heavily underestimating the market of Gunpla in the US? Question mark. I'm so curious about the projections Bandai and you did on the market growth in the US.
Yeah, so not going too deep into that. For what I can say and can't say, certain things I'm not allowed to, as far as market growth and stuff like that, I'd have to ask Bandai. What I'm allowed to say on that. The U.S. market is a growing market. Obviously, Bandai, you can just see the steps Bandai has taken because of that. I mean, they own most of Bluefin. So if the U.S. market, there wasn't a huge demand, they wouldn't have done that. Because there's other distributors in other countries, and they haven't, invested and bought into that. So the U.S. market is growing. They're putting money into growing the U.S. market. They're going to make the Gundam movie. They've opened up Bandai. They have a Bandai US site. So different things like that can kind of just show you that the U.S. market is definitely a growing market for Bandai hobby. As far as like profit margins, I mean, it pays the bills. I'm not going and buying airplanes or anything. But my business model and different other companies can be different. Is we want to bring the kits to people at a decent price that it's not breaking your bank. Maybe if you order for someone else, you might be able to get 3 kits, but if you order for me, you're able to get 4 kits. So by doing that, it doesn't leave that much room of margin for, like I said, for me to go and buy extravagant houses and pay people millions of dollars. But in turn, we make sure we pay people fairly here, and treat people right. You don't want to ever be somebody that's running a company and you're just, paying your people as low as you can. So you're you're keeping everything. You want to make sure everyone's happy that works for you. And that's an important thing. So I don't really know how much that answered his question or not. The U.S. market's growing. There's definitely people want Gundam kits. The whole coronavirus situation obviously has made the demand even greater. Because kind of depending on what state you're in, you probably still aren't even able to go to see a movie or go eat at a restaurant. So you're still sitting at home. Some states, kids can't even go to school. So you need something for them to do. So that's just increased the demand as well for Gundam kits here, and I'm sure worldwide.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as profit wise goes, I mean, it pays the bills. If it didn't pay the bills, we would have gone bankrupt and not, not be here.
Right.
But it's important to take what profit you have and be able to invest it. We invest in giveaways for contests, into growing the hobby here in the States, sponsoring people, paying our employees, making sure we have updated equipment. Computers go bad. You got to buy computers. You got to buy, packing stations, down to, boxes that you ship stuff in, labels for the boxes. So there's tons of expenses that go into it, that eat away at your margin too. But, like I said, if we weren't making money, we wouldn't be here.
Sure.
Yep.
Yes, exactly. So let me just get one more here off YouTube, then we'll switch over to Facebook. JG asked, I'm curious what you and everyone else does with your leftover runners and nubs. I've been thinking about it a lot and no good ideas yet.
And I think Bandai in Japan, you can actually bring them to places. Am I correct on that? I mean, here in the States,
I'm not sure. I've heard like that kind of, but I don't know how true that is or anything.
So I looked at if you can recycle this plastic, and the answer is no.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I guess here in the States you can't. The kind of plastic it is, you would have to find a specialized recycling place to take it, which is weird. But because at one time I wanted to open, hey, mail us back your stuff and we'll recycle it for you. But then when I went into looking and seeing where we could send it to, there was like no place we could go to recycle it. That would be a great thing for somebody to do, figure out.
If you can figure out the logistics.
Yeah, I just don't know. But I thought in Japan you can bring them to places and they will send them back. And I guess I don't know if they can reuse it or not. But I thought I had read somewhere in there that you can send them back to Bandai.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I know, at least here in Korea, as far as I know, we can recycle them. I put them in the recycling and they take it. So I don't know if it actually gets recycled or not. I would assume so. It's kind of weird, but
yeah, because what's the plastic called again? It's like polyurethane, right?
Polystyrene.
Styrene.
Yeah, as far as I know, it might have some sort of like more complicated name to it, but it's polystyrene as far as I know.
Yeah, recycle.
But yeah, I mean, to answer the question, for me personally, I just recycle everything. I mean, like the nubs and everything, the little bits, it just goes in the trash. It's too tiny, but all the runners and everything, yeah, I just recycle that. Cut off all the parts and everything.
Yeah. Look up your local recycling, see if they can take it. I know here in Florida, they don't have any place because of the EPS in it, I guess is what I'm reading. I guess it's the same stuff as packing peanuts. And I guess packing peanuts can't be recycled. So
that said, I will say just a helpful hint as to what I do with mine. I don't throw them all away. I always keep a couple on hand because if you ever need to, like, if you're doing like scratch building or customizing or something, if you ever need to cut off a piece of runner, just having the plastic on hand, it just makes for good scrap plastic if you need it. So I'll always keep 1 or 2 around just in case you need some plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine that just like the shipping cost for like if you had some sort of program where people could ship back the runners, just the shipping cost just wouldn't be worth it for anything, I would imagine. But
well, I know here in the States, like you can apply for programs that, depending where it's at, the government would actually pay for the shipping.
Oh,
due to different recycling programs and stuff that they have, they would, if it's over a certain amount of poundage, they would, I'm sure the post office, it's probably free for the government to ship it through there, but
interesting.
Yeah, it was a neat. I was looking at all of it. I was like, oh, this would be great. And then most places you can't even process it.
Bummer. Yes. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, okay. Anyway, we'll move on. Just thinking some more on that, but yeah. Anyway. Okay. Switching over here to Facebook, Phil said, for your Gundam Store stickers, do you choose what suit you want the artist to create, or are they free to decide what image to produce?
So we use Gundam Yatham. He's an amazing artist. If check him out, he does all of our stickers. But he kind of, we have a really good working relationship, and he's a really good friend, and we kind of talk about what he might want to draw, or what we might want to have out, or what kits are coming out. For example, we did the wing custom. Obviously, the wing Verkaw was coming out. But we pick 3 or 4, and then we put them up for a vote. So every month, usually the first week of the month, if you check out our Facebook page, and then we'll post on Instagram, but you got to go on Facebook and you can vote on one of the 3 or 4 kits, and the winner is the one that gets made for the next month.
Yes. Yep. Yes, there you go. It's a vote.
Yes.
Alex said, when Bandai reprints older kits or releases new kits that use old runners, are they using the exact same type of blend of plastics as the previous releases of those kits? And are there ever changes to the types of plastic used for particular kits over time? Interesting question.
From what I know that they switched to the polystyrene in the 2000s, if I remember correctly. If I remember correctly, I could be completely wrong here. I know they used to use a different blend, and what's funny is the blend that they were using, the GSI Krios, like Mr. Hobby Paint stuff, was melting it and making it more brittle. So then they changed the formula because I mean, the brand of paint that you're out there saying to use is destroying your kids. And I want to say that was in the early 2000s, but I could be wrong. It might have been earlier than that, or even a little bit later than that. So I know they switched the formula, and I know as far as have they used different plastics, I know that there's been kits made with recycled plastics. If I remember that.
EcoPla kits?
Yeah. The EcoPla. Yeah.
I think that's true. Not exactly what he's talking about, though. I think what he means is that like for like those older kits that were made with like the different blend of polystyrene, if like now if they're reproducing, do they still use that older blend, or are they using like the modern blend, what they use with modern kits? And the answer, as far as I've seen, whatever the kit was originally made in, that's what they stick to. So like if you buy an older kit, like an 80s kit or something, that's using definitely that older kind of polystyrene plastic, even if it's just been reproduced this year, if it just came out of the factory this year, it's still using that same type of plastic, so it still has that same feeling, unfortunately. The only kits that I know of that have changed are some of the P Bandai Advanced Zeta kits that came out last year or the year before. They came out with the couple of new like P Bandai versions of the Hazel and like Hazel 2, where like the inner frame, like the gray runner, was changed to the new blend of polystyrene plastic, so it was a little bit nicer than the old ones. I know, and they kind of made a big deal out of that too. It was like in like the promotional images and stuff with information about how they changed the plastic on that. So it's pretty rare for them to do that. So usually, if it's an old kit, it's going to have that old type of plastic.
I wonder if the reason why that is certain blends pour or inject differently into the molds, and so the molds are
Yeah, I
designed,
wonder.
for that type of plastic.
Hmm.
Might be why.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, could very well be. I hadn't thought about that, but yeah. Or if it's just for the nostalgia of it.
Yeah. I got the old plastic. Yay.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I was just thinking about this the other day because what was I making? The Isaac, the HD Isaac. Whilst building that, I was noticing it had that older feel to the plastic. I'm thinking like, man, I wonder why they don't do that, but for whatever reason. All right, Garrett said, "Hey Adam, how excited are you to release your detailed parts later this month?
Yeah,
Are you looking into doing resin as well to supplement your ongoing search to get more in?"
Yes. Yeah. Definitely excited. I think a lot of people will like them. We'll definitely be making more designs too in the future. As far as using resin for different things, yes. I think that's a way a lot of model making hobby is kind of going towards, not in the way of replacing kits. Yeah, I don't think Bandai's ever gonna 3D resin print kits. I think it takes longer than injection molding. You can turn more out with the injection machines than you can probably with 3D resin machines. But as far as like add-on parts and detail parts and weapon kits and stuff like that, I think it's a cheaper way. It's a more efficient way for smaller kind of in-house companies to make these type of parts. You don't need a massive amount of money to buy a full injection machine, get a mold made and stuff like that, where all you have to do is design something on CAD, pop it in, and it goes.
Yeah, it's kind of related to what we were talking about before about making like specific parts for specific kits. That kind of thing. Yeah, definitely. Jordan had a interesting question. I'm not sure how easy this is going to be to answer, but it's an interesting question. He said, if you could swap the color scheme between two mobile suits, one with more traditional colors and the other one with more kind of wild, unusual color schemes, which two color schemes would you swap and why?
Ooh.
So I don't know, like something like traditional, like the ARC-78 color, like the tricolor scheme, and something like the Hyakushiki or something, having like a gold and navy blue Gundam, like, for example. I don't know.
Yeah. Trying to think, because I mean, my problem is everything I look at, I see it as those are their traditional colors. So what's really even like the Hyakushiki, it's traditional colors gold. But I think anything with like a gold thing would be cool, but I don't know if that's really out there and crazy. The Fenix is gold. Even the G Gundam kits in Hyper Mode are gold.
We were just talking about that with Josh on the last episode of Plamo on the Trend. We were looking at a gold kit and we were talking about that, how just kind of pretty much anything you can just paint it gold and it'll look, cool. Yeah.
What is crazy though?
Even something just like, one of the examples he gave here, he gave a couple of examples, something like the Infinite Justice being like that kind of pink with white accents, that kind of thing.
So is that
on something like the Zeta or something like that, for example? It would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. So if we're just kind of switching instead of thinking like mass crazy colorations, I always thought the Stein was cool with the original Gundam colors. The tricolor thing. I've seen people do that. Like if you take like the Rouge colors from the Strike Rouge and put it on RX-78, I think that would be kind of cool too. But I think you can probably take those Rouge colors and put on any Gundam, and I think it's
kind of like similar to Char's colors, essentially.
Yeah. So I think that would be kind of cool. Oh, that's an interesting question, because I think people that paint their kits probably deal with this all the time. What color, what color should I make it? Do I keep it to the original, or do I take a color scheme from something else? Or a lot of what I do is I'll look at different things in nature and see the coloration there, and see if that will work in a kit. I always didn't like a lot of like the orange colorations, like orange and yellows. So those would be crazy, I guess, for me.
Even the gray Zeta, I mean, it looks so cool in all orange.
No,
A little too much orange for you there?
Yeah, I don't
It's
know. I
very
just don't
orange
like
now,
orange.
yeah.
Yeah, I just don't like orange.
The only thing that I don't like about that color scheme is the amount of brown that's got. The orange, it looks cool, but I don't like how like it's got orange with brown accents, kind of ugly.
Yeah.
But
The other one that I don't like is the it's not the FSD RX-78, it's the black one. What one is that called? It's not really black, it's like a dark brown.
Yeah. It's the North American front version, I want to say, something like that.
Something like that. I do not like that color scheme at all either.
Yeah, not really the best. A little bit kind of boring, to be honest. Very cool design, but yeah, the color scheme was just kind of just dark. That's all. Very dark. What's going on, Brian? Late to the party? That's okay. You're not that late. All right. Interesting question. Yeah, I mean, it's something you could kind of think about a lot. And it's like Adam said, like if you're someone who paints normally, it is something that you think about every time you go to custom painted kits if you do custom color schemes. Yeah. Cliff said, of all the other mecha designers, is there one you'd like to see variants produced from other than Kotoki? So like, for example, instead of Verka version, other different mecha designers like Kondo or Kobayashi, if Bandai were to do like an actual series or maybe even just one-off of one of these side story, anything you'd like. They did do that version of the Freedom.
I didn't really like the Freedom.
They did I can't remember who it wasn't. Kondo, it was Okawara, I want to say.
Okay.
They did a release of the Master Grade Freedom, I think it was, and it was like Okawara version. It was basically just like different colors.
Yeah. It's a good question because you have to really look them up. But I like Takeda's designs, and if I remember correctly, he did a lot of seed. And it's so if I don't know if you remember this, there was a resin company called Vicious Productions or Vicious Products, and they made resin dress-up kits, and they were more seed-like. So they made like a Hainu, but it was more seed-esque, and it reminded me a lot of his work. So I like a lot of the seed designs. So if they like remade some of the UC kits, that way that'd be cool. There's also another. I have no idea who designs these. And just recently, there's been a gym floating around Facebook. But this person drew out Zagox, different things, and they just looked really cool. I would have to bring up. I could probably find.
I think I know what you're talking about. I've seen them around on Twitter, but on Facebook, I've seen like Justin sharing the same ones basically.
Yeah, like they're real mechanical and real kind of like intense looking. I think those would be really cool as kits. But I have no idea who designed those, and I should probably look for that so we could give them credit.
Yeah. As far as I know, it's not someone who's like who's actually done design work for Bandai. It's just a artist on Twitter, mechanical artist on Twitter. But
I think it's CG Takeda, the guy that designed all most of the seed kits. I think it'd be cool to have some seed designs for UC just redone.
Definitely. I think I mean, Kondo. If they made like actual like some of like the like very Kondo-esque Kondo designs as kits, I mean, they'd be pretty wild, like the huge fat proportions and stuff, really crazy proportions on them. I think probably what's the most likely though, if they ever were to do anything similar to like Verka on something, probably would be like a version Naoki. I could see them because of how much they've over the past few years they've done a number of different Naoki designed kits. So it's kind of interesting why they haven't actually done that yet. Making like the Kublai Damned, for example, why they didn't have that as like a version Naoki, but maybe he's not interested in having like that actually on the box or whatever as a label. But You never know. Maybe someday in the future, but I think that's probably likely if they were to do anything like that. Okay. Let's see. Robert says, how has the lost shipment of Bandai kits been affecting business? Any worries about future shipments? Has Bandai addressed the situation well in your eyes?
Yes. I mean, you can see we're out of stock of tons of stuff. So Bandai, things like that happen, and there's not really anything anybody can do. It's not Bandai's fault. It's not, if anything, it's probably the captain's fault for not looking at the radar and following the storm. But I don't think most of it in there was P Bandai stuff.
Really?
And they haven't really, I don't know what. They haven't really come out and said what was in there that was lost. So when we place orders, we place them, they come in and they ship them to us. So the way the last year's been is we've placed orders, there's been delays. And then we get the stuff kind of whenever it shows up. There's no real, full structure to it except for restocks anyways. Pre-orders have kind of, I think they had one or two that got delayed, but have been mostly here when they should have been. So if it was like reprint stuff, I'll never know. They would just take it and ship it. So
interesting though. So somewhere out there in the ocean is a buried treasure of P Bandai kits.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is go out there and find it. I mean, it's that plastic. It would just be sitting there, right?
Right. Yep. You'd be good to go.
Somebody can find that someday.
Yeah.
It's gonna wash up on the shore somewhere. Just a bunch of P Bandai runners.
Well, I was looking because it made me curious at how many containers are lost. And when I was looking up, it said like 5 to 6 containers are lost every single hour. At sea. Yeah.
Wow.
If I can find that again.
That's crazy. I mean, if you would have said like 5 or 6 containers a year, I thought, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or even like 5 or 6 containers a day or a week would be like pretty crazy. I'd be very surprised, but an hour, that's insane. Yeah. But I guess, there's just so much stuff moving around at any point in time. I mean, just more than we'd realize, I guess.
Yeah, because it was I found it again. It was like a 2017 thing, and it said $4 trillion worth of product is lost every year, which amounts to 4 to 5 containers per hour. Like that's just crazy.
Man.
But you think about it, I mean, there's container ships going all the time.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's bound to happen, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. Rebecca said, a little bit easier question here, but what would you say is the best line of Gunpla in your opinion? MG, SD, HD, RE, whatever.
Which I didn't hear the first part of that. I'm sorry.
Not necessarily your favorite, or her question anyway is, what would you say is the best line?
The best line. So that's a trick question in my eyes. If you want that like variety, I would say high grade line. If you want, I think more quality in the kit for the price, I would say master grade. So I guess those are my 2 answers, even though she probably wanted 1 answer. So if I had to narrow it down, I'd say high grade just because you have so many more options of kits to pick from. You can still do what you want with those kits. It's smaller, so you got to be a little bit more detailed with what you're doing.
Basically, I think that's kind of the only answer. Anything, I would say basically the same thing. I think anyone who would say anything different, it would be kind of just wrong. That's, I think, probably the only answer you could really say to that question, really, because of course, like for master grades is going to be generally a little better quality, just kind of just more to it, but you just can't beat high grade for just the variety available.
Yeah, and there's so many different price ranges too. I mean, if you can get a high grade for $8, and you can also get one for 100 and something, so
see, Edgar asked, if you had a choice on a new anime series, what would it be? Something in UC or something completely new?
UC. I just like UC.
Yeah.
I don't want any more build fighters, build divers stuff, but that's just me.
Yeah, UC, I would agree, but I would want it to be, I don't know. I was gonna say I would want it to be something that's not like retconned in or like shoehorned in between other series.
Yeah.
Something like either before or after like all the different series that we already kind of have established. You couldn't really make too much anything really before 0079, I guess. There wouldn't be much mobile suits to do with, as we've seen like with the Origin, I guess.
Right.
But like later, I mean, you could go kind of almost infinitely later, I suppose, kind of between anywhere between F91 and Turn A. There's a lot of time in between that you could fit something in. But that said, I don't know, because like they have 8th MS Team, which is just like a kind of side story of this kind of thing going on over here during 1 Year War. So I mean, Thunderbolt, same kind of thing as well too. Yeah. So I mean, doing those kind of series is also cool, I guess. But yeah, I mean, generally I would agree. I have a preference for UC, but if they do something new and different, that's always fun too. Yeah. If it's done well. So if it gives me cool kits, then I'm happy. That's all I really care about. All right, here, let's see. Wes has a question, something about the narrative Gundam. The question is, do you think there will be an MG narrative Gundam? He says it's one of my favorite Gundams, and although the HGs are great, I'd love a fully transformable version with the core fighter and based on the RG and RG Unicorn and Impulse. Bandai has the technology to do it. Oh, so actually his question was, do we think there'll be an MG or an RG version of the narrative Gundam at any point?
I think so, and I don't think it'll be too long off. Honestly, I don't know anything, but I would assume that they would have one coming out soon.
Really?
I would. Yeah, I would think so. I'd be even willing to say that they'd make a Verkaw version if they went master grade of it.
Very interesting. Once again, you're a bit more optimistic than I am. I would put it a little bit farther off just because it was such a very kind of short series and just like a movie, right?
Yeah, just a movie. But they made master grade. They made the master grade Sinanju.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, so I could see. I mean, they mostly had most of the mold already for that, though. So.
Yeah, I mean, because it's basically a mix of two designs, the new Gundam and the Unicorn, and both of those are very popular and sell really well. So, I mean, if it's just, the design is basically a mix of those. I'm sure it would also do pretty well. I don't know what the sales were like of the HG kits. I'm sure it sold like fine. I don't think any of the HGs like were like really super hits compared to other stuff. But I mean, as far as I would guess, it sold well enough. I don't know. Between MG or RG, I think probably MG is more likely than RG.
Yeah, I would say so too.
I would like it. I would enjoy it. I'm not sure if it would be transformable, though. I think they would probably either make it as one form or the other. Probably the A-Packs? C-Packs? The later one, C-Packs. The later one. I think that's probably what it would be.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. And then they'll have P Bandai extras to get other ones.
Yeah, they'll make the B packages probably, or sometimes they do this like with the they'll switch it up for the master grade version. They'll release the B packs as a standard release and the C packs as the P Bandai. They'll switch it from the HG.
Yeah,
that's what they'll do. Who knows? But yeah, that said, if they ever make an MG, it'd be hard to imagine them making the Apex as well too, the massive full armor, and I think it would just be too big in MG. But who knows? They could go totally crazy with it.
Yeah.
All right, let me get one more here, and then we'll head over to Instagram. There's a bunch of questions there too. Let's see. There's a couple of trying to find a good one here before we move on. Here's another one. Someone wanting an RG narrative Gundam.
Yeah.
There's that. Let's see. Well, let's see. Hawk asked, I love the F91 old series. When will Bandai produce more updated kits of this line? We were talking about that in my live stream this morning.
F91.
Yeah, I think basically what he's asking if Bandai will make some more kits of like F91 has a lot of like the 80s kits, like old one, like a little 1/44 scale, old 80s kits, but not a whole lot as like far as newer kits. So I think he's basically asking if we think that they're gonna make some newer HG or MG kits or something like that. Probably HGUC.
Yeah.
Kits of other stuff from F91.
Maybe. I mean, they're doing that whole P Bandai series on the F90.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not out of their realm to do it right now.
Yeah, sure. I could see that. You know, the HGUC line is just, I mean, they kind of go all over the place with that. So they're making, you know, some of the more obscure things a little bit, like with the Bondoc more recently. The Master, I mean, it's tied to the movies coming out, but I mean, I could definitely see them just coming out randomly, then just like one of like the enemy mobile suits or something from F91. Could totally see that happening.
Yeah.
It'd be one of those things where it's just kind of out of nowhere, but it would be cool, definitely. Okay, let me switch over here to Instagram. We'll get a handful of questions from here, and we'll take a handful of questions from you guys, and then we'll get to the giveaway. Here's Bro Builder. He said, Adam, do you still want me to make all of your dreams come true with with one of those PG Unleashed Gramps?
Yes.
I'm not sure what that's referring to.
He knows.
There you go. Yes, answer. That's it.
All of my dreams come true.
Hey, it's Kay. Says, considering the engineering we have from the MG, HG, RG line, what do you think is a good improvement you would like to get added? So I guess like future further improvements to these lines.
Yeah, that's a hard question.
Yeah, it is.
Because in my mind, you start adding. I don't want the kids to walk around. I don't want that. I don't even think like weapon gimmicks are good. I mean, Kodo kind of played around with that with their MSG parts, where you could had a battery pack and it would make like the Gatling gun spin. I don't really think that's necessary.
Yeah.
So then you go more into, I guess, better LED systems, maybe. But they've done it's such a hard question. I don't really.
And until they figure out a way to produce and sell their LED stuff cheaper, and anything LED from Bandai just jacks up the cost so much. I think it's not something I could see them doing like more of until they find a way to do it cheaper.
Yeah, I can see them if they went more, I guess, like a fiber optic way.
Yeah.
It could, then you only need one or two. You see basically one color or whatever. If you want 3 different colors on it, you just need 3 color LEDs, and you just run the strands. That I think would be a cool improvement. They've done a great job with adding details in the posabilities of some of these newer kits. Or I don't really know what other proposing ability you'd want.
Right.
Yeah, maybe a way to have them pose without action bases.
Yeah, like Chris is saying, they're floating Gundam. I mean, I've seen
those, they're nice.
Yeah, those kind of things that you can buy, where it's just like a little thing for your desk with like the floating Millennium Falcon or something like that. It's just kind of spitting on there. I don't know how it's used. I'm sure it's magnets, something related to that.
Yeah. So that
how do those work? But I mean, that could be something that could be kind of interesting. It seems like with the way, because like something, if it's like a little ship or something like the Millennium Falcon, it's just one thing. But if it's a Gundam that's got like arms and legs and weapons stuff kind of pointing out every direction, it seems like it'd be hard to balance that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm of the same mind. I don't really know where they can go from here. I'm sure they'll figure out something cool. To do with the kits. I mean, they would know kind of where to go with that. But yeah, it seems like all they can really do is just kind of continuing, just trying to improve basically what the kits already do. There's not a whole lot you could really do else with them, I think.
Yeah, because once you start doing so much to them, when do they stop becoming model kits and start becoming toys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Or, you know, like the stuff that has like very specific gimmicks then is just kind of, they can't, like the PG Unleashed, like with all the open hatches, if they start making every, let's say Masquerade kit, for example, they started doing like that kind of tons of open hatch gimmicks on a Masquerade kits, then if they make that like the standard for the line, and then people are going to be expecting every single Masquerade kit, they probably wouldn't do that. They would make it as like a branch line, Masquerade
Unhatched
in Masquerade Extreme or something. Yeah. So yeah, it's hard to say. Interesting question, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Gunpla Ronan asked, "What's your favorite Astray?"
The dragon. Although I like the dragon a lot, but yeah, dragon. I was thinking of the Blanche Impulse, but that's not an Astray. They do make an Impulse that has that pack on it, don't they? Or make a Astray that has that pack? Maybe not.
The Astray Noir?
No.
That has the Destiny wings?
Yeah, no, they don't. They don't.
I don't think so.
No. Yeah, so then the dragon.
That's a tough one. As far as like what Bandai makes, I mean, the Blue Frame D is pretty cool with all the swords and everything, and there's the colors are really nice. It's just really cool with that orange and white, and then the white and blue and the orange accents is cool. I do like the I think it's what's the Astray, the Blue Frame Astray version with like the big massive orange knees on it. Bandai doesn't make a kit of it yet.
Oh no, I know what you're talking about. Like is it the water version?
It's the second revise.
Yeah.
L or something like that.
Didn't like Dragon Momoko make one? And
they did, yeah. Like right before they died.
Yeah, that's what I think ended up getting Bandai pissed.
Yeah, second revise. Mercenary saying there in the chat. Yeah,
that one's nice too.
That's cool. Yeah, I love those massive knees on it. It's cool. Yeah, there's a bunch of different versions. I mean, like the gold frame is cool with the big bazooka. Love that bazooka. Very cool.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. I'm Patrick, who was the winner of our last giveaway.
Yes.
Said, if you can pilot one Gundam, which would you choose?
Stein. Sanju Stein.
I had to actually answer this morning as well too. Someone asked me this morning, and I said the XS because it'd be cool because you have the Alice system there that can just kind of basically fly the thing for you, and you just kind of go along for the ride. It'd be fun. I imagine it'd be really fun to use the incom system. How it uses the incom system to bounce the beam from the beam rifle. That'd be pretty cool. It's like, oh, I'm shooting over here. Psych. And then shoot that way. That'd be fun. Will we ever get a proper release of the Tequila Gundam? Even if it's the one from Divers. Oh yeah, that did have a cameo in Divers, didn't it?
Yeah, I doubt it. I would be willing to put down a lot of money saying they never make that ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say. I mean, fans in the West, I'm sure probably there's some Japanese fans and fans in the East as well too, who probably appreciate the joke that it would be, and I'm sure lots of people will buy it just for that fact alone. But I don't think it's enough that Bandai would actually want to make it. Who knows? Gunpla Vapor said, other than Gunpla is freedom, what are other toxic traits within the community that people need to be more aware of? This is an interesting one I would love to dive into. Adam?
Toxic traits. Like, does he want a phrase that people say? I mean, or just like the Bright Slap's been around forever.
I think he's talking more of the whole, well, just to explain in case anyone's unaware, there's a whole kind of two sides basically to the whole Gunpla is freedom thing. There's people who like the phrase and people who hate it. And the people who hate it because basically, in their opinions, some people will use the phrase as an excuse, like as a crutch for not developing their model skills properly. So, for example, like if someone posts their build, someone does like a custom build or something, and they post it online, and like it's just not done very well. Like the modifications or whatever they do with it, the customization they do is kind of rough, the painting's rough or something like that. And if anyone were to say like, oh, you need to work on your technical skills and stuff like that, then they'll just come back with the retort like, Gunpla is freedom, as in like, don't criticize me. This is how I'm enjoying making it, so this is how I'm free to make it however I want, as an excuse basically for, just not kind of accepting the criticism of saying, okay, yeah, I do need to work on my technical skills a little bit more. That's why some people hate it, because it is apparently often used like that. I've seen it used like that before. I don't think it's used in that way that often that makes me want to hate the phrase and be that bothered by it. But I know there's a lot of people out there who do really hate the expression just because of that reason. It just seems a bit overblown in my opinion. But on the other hand, I like it because I think the general sentiment of it is right. Yeah, some people may misuse it in that way, but I think, generally it just means that, and I think I've talked about this with Lincoln, because compared to other properties like Maschinen Krieger, that's one great thing about Gunpla, is that it is very wide open. There's not a lot of people out there who say like, you have to stick to the original design. Pretty much the entire point almost is like, you have to make it different, much more so than people who want to stick to the original design. So I think it's good, but like with anything, people could misuse it, but I don't think it's something that I would ever lose sleep over by any means, one way or the other.
Yeah.
No. Anyway, so rant over there, but that's what I want to say about that. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, the argument comes up every now and then, and I just I don't know why people get upset about it either way. Like,
I don't know if there's any other phrases that I can even think about that even would be considered like that. Unless I'm just not, Chris.
Yeah, I don't think of anything either. I mean,
influencers.
Not necessarily like a phrase, but just people in general not really being able to take criticism on stuff. Yeah, I mean, like if you post your build online and you ask for people's thoughts, like, hey, what do you think of my build? And then people tell you what they think of your build, you should be able to take that. And of course, but I mean, that's with anything. Some people just there's just people.
Yeah, I mean, just people should know by now. If you ask for any sort of criticism on the internet, you're going to get nice people and you're going to get a bunch of assholes. So, no, of course, you should expect that by now if you're asking, and you shouldn't get mad. You should just ignore the ones you want to ignore and take the ones you want to take.
For sure. I mean, and if you're the one giving feedback to someone else's build, I mean, obviously, or maybe it's not obvious because some people don't do it, but in my opinion, it should be obvious that you should give feedback, constructive feedback, in a tactful way. Don't be a dick, right?
Pretty much.
But then some people will say, "Oh, you're hand holding. You have to tell people what they did wrong." But I think there's certainly a lot of ways you can tell people constructively, how they can improve their skills and stuff without being an asshole, right? So.
Yeah.
But again, like you said, it's the internet. All right. Let me get one more here off Instagram. There's a lot of questions, so there's going to be a lot that we won't get to, but let's see. I'll just take a random one here. Any chance that the pre-orders for the Mega X, I guess he means the MG Extreme, and the PG Unleashed will be available sooner? March seems too far away.
The Mega X.
I think he means the MGEX.
Those are here in stock now.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure it says it on the site too. Now he's got me worried. If it says still pre-order. Nope. It says in stock.
No.
No. We've got tons of the Masquerade EX is in stock. The Unleashed, late February, mid to late February, possibly early March for the second wave. We have a few left on the second wave. So if you really want one, I would definitely get it. If you want to get it from us, but there's still a few slots open.
Yes. Let me just also say this here before. If you guys have any other questions, I want to take a couple questions. We don't have a ton of time, but I do want to take a couple of questions from you guys watching live. So if you have questions, go ahead and post those there live in the chat. Now we'll take a couple of those. We'll just also bring this up to what Chris pointed out here. He said also the weird mentality that being sponsored is their goal. Yes, that's another thing. I mean,
yeah. I can speak to how we kind of, if you want to get sponsored and that's your goal, usually the content coming out of those people is not that good versus people that just want to make content and then we find them and then reach out to them. So I think for pretty much everyone that we sponsor is they were making content, making good content. We reached out to them. I don't know if we might have one or two that reached out to me.
Well, me.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, but I guess you were a little different though, because we had talked before and stuff, and you said you were losing your sponsor. Yeah, I guess you would be one.
That's pretty well established at that time.
Yeah, it's not someone asking that has 100 followers and made 3 videos. You're not going to make 3 or 4 videos and then boom, all of a sudden get massive, sponsoring. You'll more be likely if you make 3 or 4 good videos that you're promoting yourself and not going around asking. Probably someone will find that and be like, oh, hey, he's doing a good job. Let me reach out to him. Versus you make 2 or 3 videos and start reaching out to everyone. That's just how I do it. I don't know how other places do it.
Yeah. I mean, just make stuff because you're enjoying making the stuff, and then the rest will follow. Basically, as they say, right? What's that kind of famous saying? Do what you love, and the money will follow. Like that. Yeah. Generally true, basically, as far as I can tell. All right, well, let's go ahead and let's see a question here. Jake Brown said, "What RE100 or 100 from any timeline would you guys like to see?" Oh, Nero. You mind, Adam?
I don't know if they would more be willing to do an RE than a Masquerade with a Kshatriya. I think would be good. Still be a massive thing.
Yeah.
But that would be, I think a lot of people would like that.
Yeah, I agree. That would be probably better suited as an RE kit, definitely.
Yeah.
People would cry about it, of course. Oh, an MG.
Right. But
RE sucks.
Yeah. I think if it was a Masquerade, it'd be a lot. And it'd be a lot of money. It'd be a lot of money too.
Yeah, that's a good candidate too. But yeah, for me, the Nero, the Rosenzula I've talked about a lot about. It's one of my favorites. I think that could be a master grade though. Yeah. It would be a big expensive master grade, but not anything. I mean, quite like the Kshatriya. I think they could do that as a master grade, but it could go either way. It'd make for a good RE100 as well too, I think.
Yeah.
Someone asked this morning was an interesting idea that I hadn't actually thought about with the 100 scale Calamity coming out. If I think that they're going to make a Sword Calamity version as well too. I haven't really thought about that, but it does seem kind of very possible, doesn't it?
Yeah, that would be cool. I know I built the Neo Grade resin dress up kit for the Sword Calamity that I have built, and I like the Sword Calamity design. I do like that a lot.
I mean, if they do, most likely it'll be coming out as a P Bandai kit, but I could definitely see that happening. Yeah. All right. Well, here, let me see if we got any more questions here. One more. What 3D printers are you guys using for the parts that you're producing? Harley asked.
I don't know the answer to that, just because it's a factory and we just get the final product.
Mm.
We get the initial ones, different samples. We approve them, or we ask for little changes, and then they do those changes and do those improvements, and then they ship us another sample. It keeps going until finally get what you want. But I haven't gone in there and looked at like branding the machines or anything. Sorry.
It's okay. All right, last one here we'll take from the chat, and then we'll get to the giveaway here. Juan says, if they were to make a Gundam statue for your business, which one would you want?
Ooh. So I would have to say the ARC-78.
Yeah.
Because it's so well known, and everyone would know it, if that makes sense. So everyone that would come into the store or see it would be like, oh, that's, versus if you make something, I don't think everyone knows what a Sword Impulse is, or, you know what I mean? So you would have to, if it's for the store, it would have to be something, or, a Zaku, most people know what Zaku are, but it would have to be something that everyone would be able to recognize with and want to take a picture with. Because you take a picture of something, post it on social media, everyone's going to know it's a Gundam, versus people are going to, what in the world is that? What is that robot?
Sure. Yeah, something very recognizable, of course, iconic.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. Definitely. All right. Let's get down to business. And hopefully I won't have to count to any too high numbers today. Fingers crossed. So first, we're just going to draw a number here to determine which platform we're going to draw the winner from. So 1 is the YouTube community tab. 2 is the Facebook page. 3, it'll be Instagram. So we'll go ahead and draw this here first.
Good luck, everyone.
Good luck, indeed. Yeah. Generate. All right, there we go. 1.
Oh man.
So I'm now just wondering if that actually if it was 2 and it just generated a 2 again, because I clicked it and it just didn't change. I thought it didn't change, but maybe it just came up with a 2 again. So that's not fair. So maybe let me just do one more time, or what? I don't know. What should I do now?
Stick with the
refresh the page. Okay. Well, I'll refresh, and if this comes up as a 1 again, then I'm screwed. But let me just. Okay, now we're doing it for real, just because I just kind of had a brain fart there. Okay, generate. And did it work? Did it just come up as a 1 again, or?
Sure.
Not. Okay, well, it came up 1 and then 1. Okay, we'll just go with 1 then.
There.
So YouTube community tab here. Oh, and then we need to draw. See, YouTube community tab had on 114. Now, if it comes up 1 again, I'm going to be really concerned. But, or actually, that'd be very convenient for me. But, 87. Okay, so we had to count for a little while. Maybe we count up from the bottom.
Yeah, that might be easier. So what you need to count to, though? You had 114, right?
Yeah, from 114. But then again, let me just actually, before I do that. Okay, yeah, it's still 140. Just want to make sure that no one added any since we've been talking. Then I would have to take that into consideration. But all right. The last one here from Zane Cox. Who made your logo? Maybe while I'm counting, you want to answer that? Who made the logo, Adam? You can talk about that, and I'll count here.
Yeah, so the new logo is actually done on a website called Logo Arena, which is kind of cool. You can kind of put in what you're looking for, what you want, and then you'll have artists from all over the world bid on your contest because you'll have a prize, and you pick the winner basically of the contest, and they get the prize money, and you get all the logo files, which is kind of neat. Lynx52 designed Apex, and he designed the V-fin that is on the logo. So he designed those 2 things, and then in the Logo Arena there was, I don't know, probably 400 artists that would submit logo designs based on the colors we said, what we were looking for, all different things, and they and then you pick a winner, which is a pretty cool thing. So if you're starting up a company, you have no idea what to do, you can go on there, say, I want red, green, blue, I want it to be a circle, have this in it with a duck, and you'll get artists from all over submitting things to, and you can win I think the prize can go from like $50 up to $500. So you can kind of decide. Obviously, the more money the prize is, the more people are going to invest the time to try and win that money, and you'll get more logo designs. But it's a cool site. If you're, you can even go on there and look at people's contests and see
what's the name of it again. Say it one more time.
It's logoarena.com.
Okay,
yeah, it's pretty neat. I'm on there right now, and you can look at like contests they're going. And you can make it private so no one can see them. But they've got like there's a nursing center. There's all sorts. They have a beer company that they're making logos for. Fire station. That's kind of cool. Electrical service. Wildcraft beer.
All right, I got the winner here. You ready?
All right. Yeah.
It's Auric Berserk. So waiting on two behemoth kits, the Sazvi Verka and the Faz Verka. What's your favorite to paint? Well, now he's waiting on 3 kits.
Yes.
There you go. Favorite to paint? I've not painted either of those, but I think if I had to choose between the two, I would prefer to paint the Sazvi, because the Faz, it's almost like kind of painting 2 kits. You have to paint the double Zeta and then have to paint all the Faz parts as well too to go on top of that.
Definitely. Yeah, I would say Sazvi as well.
That said, I have painted the RG Sazvi. That was a lot of fun as well too. And if you are thinking about painting it in an RG Sazvi, you can get, well, I don't know if you can get it at the moment, but there's the Simpro resin dress-up kit for the RG Sazvi.
Yes, there is.
Which looks very nice as well too. There's a bunch of different resin dress-up kits for the MG as well too, I guess, but more expensive. And we don't sell those.
No.
The RG dress-up kit, do we have any at the moment, or?
We are out right now, and I don't know. I gotta ask them if they're gonna remake them, because I haven't seen them in stock in a while, and they sold really well.
Well, there you have it.
But you can probably look at some hobby towns, because I know Simp Hobby Town buys from them, so your local hobby town might have one. I'd call them before you went, but yeah.
So I don't know if let's see if Auric Berserk, if you're watching live now, I don't think so. I haven't seen him there in the chat, but
yeah, I haven't.
If you're watching, get in touch with Adam or myself. Adam.
Send us an email. You can send it directly to me, Adam at usagundamstore.com. Just have like a screenshot of your like login to YouTube, so we can prove that it's you. And then your name and address.
Oh, he is here. He's there in the chat. Congrats!
Hey, congratulations!
There you go.
So just send me an email, like I said, with just a screenshot of you being logged into YouTube, and then your name and address, and we'll get that out to you. And congrats!
Very cool. All right. And yeah, thanks to everyone who left your questions. There's a ton of questions there. I'm sure a lot of really interesting ones that we were not able to get to. So, only so much time. So, congrats. And we'll, like Adam said last time, we'll do more giveaways in the future. So for all you guys who didn't win this time, just keep your eyes peeled for the next one. We'll have the next episode in 2 weeks' time. So it'll be the same thing. We'll have the post up there on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. You guys can just comment on there to be entered in the giveaway. So just stay tuned for that. Adam, anything else for today?
No, just thank you guys so much for all the support. We appreciate it. Thank you guys for your patience. We're getting out orders as fast as we can. We actually should be pretty much caught up after today. So then we can kind of get orders shipping out, next day or hopefully again. But no, thank you everyone. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here. So thank you from my family to all yours.
No doubt. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Thank you guys for hanging out, watching the live stream, joining in the chat there as well too. Check out what did I just post? Yeah. The stuff. The Trash to Treasure series. I have the first video for that coming out probably Monday or Tuesday of next week. So I recorded that the other day, but there's kind of a queue of videos I've got lined up at the moment over there on my channel. So just check those out later. As always, guys, thanks for watching that stuff as well too. Till next time, you guys all take care.
See ya.
See you later. Bye bye.